Right then, folks, let's get underway with my ERC predictions for 2026. I have 26 different predictions. They will be following the following structure. For the first 6, it will be some broad predictions. It will just be general things about what I expect to happen over the course of the season. Then the next 6 will be about championships. It could be different classes, for example. After that, we'll be talking about changes in terms of drivers and events for 2027. And to wrap it up, we will be looking at 8 random events. So these could be just absolute wildcard things that happen. I got 20 out of 25 last year. The ones that I didn't get were to do with calendar predictions. That was 3 of them. That 4 different manufacturers would win events. And then, because Rupa Koronen was only 6th in WRC2, I had one that said at least 3 of the top 5 will make an appearance. That might inform some of the choices I've done for this year. So, to start off with, I reckon there will be at least 5 different winners this season. And in addition to that, I reckon at least 2 non-regular drivers will win. Now, that could mean local drivers. It could also just mean people who compete in the region. So, for example, I think I gave Ivan Brynildsen that for Rally Scandinavia last year. I reckon there'll be at least 1 repeat winner, not necessarily back-to-back like John Armstrong, but repeat winner because we had that last year, and we hadn't had that for a couple of seasons before. I also think we'll have at least 1 new ERC winner. I reckon that 4 manufacturers will win rallies. If I was to wager, I would say probably Lancia, Toyota, Skoda, and let's say Citroen. And I also reckon the 1 manufacturer will win with 2 different tyre suppliers. If I had to wager which one, it would be a toss-up between Skoda and Toyota. Possibly Toyota. As for my championship predictions, I reckon there'll be a new champion in either the ERC or ERC3, possibly both. But I reckon that it's more likely to be in ERC3 than the ERC because we've got so many champions competing. I reckon that ERC4 and Junior ERC will have different champions. That hasn't happened the last couple of years, but let's see what happens this time around. I have a feeling that Michelin will be the tyres champion. They won in 2024 by a handful of points and lost in 2025 by a handful of points, both occasions competing with Pirelli. I think, however, the ERC champion will not be Michelin. Possibly Pirelli. I also think that at least 1 of the ERC top 5 will not start all 7 rallies. And I have a feeling as well that the ERC champion will be from a different manufacturer to WRC2. As for changes for 2027, I reckon we will have 8 rounds, like we were meant to before Hungary got cancelled. I have a feeling at least 1 rally will join for the WRC, and at least 1 rally will leave the ERC, and that includes Hungary as part of that. I also have a feeling that 1 rally will relocate within the country. For example, Poland this year has decided that it's going to be no longer up in Mikołajki in the gravel rally. I think it's down towards Katowice, down around Silesia, and it's a tarmac round. In terms of drivers, I have a feeling that at least 1 ERC driver will switch across to having a main WRC2 program. And I have a feeling that at least 1 ERC3 driver will graduate to the Rally 2 class, the top class of ERC. Now for my wildcards. I have a feeling the 2 drivers will hit each other at some point. One of the drivers could already be out. I think we had this last year in Ceredigion. I also reckon there'll be a disqualification at some point in any class. We've had some wild ones in previous years as well, so it'd be interesting to see what might happen in that case. I think at least 1 rally will be decided on the power stage, whether that's because of a driver crashing, a driver having a puncture, or just a battle that goes all the way down to the final corner. I have a feeling at least 2 of the WRC2 top 5 will make some appearances. Last year we did have 2 of the top 5. I was foolish and said 3 of the top 5, and it was 3 of the top 6. I think an ERC3 car will win a stage at some point. Possibly a super special. I have a feeling that one ERC driver will drive at least 2 different cars. And similarly, at least one ERC driver will drive for at least 2 different tyre suppliers. And for my final one, I'm sort of going double or nothing with one of my championship predictions. Because I have a feeling that at least one of the top 5 will not be there for the finale. Anyways, folks, that's that for this video. Thanks for watching, thanks for joining, thanks for your continued support. I hope to see you again soon. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But until then, it's bye-bye for now.